I'm Heinz Glaser, and today I will demonstrate to you the repair of a broken horse's hoof using Hypona Sperrhoof acrylic repair compound. First, we're going to start out showing you all the different tools that you require to do a professional job. This toolbox carries everything, all the tools and materials that I need for an acrylic hoof repair. Probably the most important tool, my Dremel set. I have here a 1/8 diameter carbide burr that has proven to be the best tool for this purpose. This sander is used to take off the preopal and also finish off the foot after acrylic has hardened. Wire brush to clean a dirty foot. This hair dryer is used to facilitate an accelerated curing. This is a tongue depressor that we need to steer the acrylic and to apply it to the horse's foot. These little Q-tips I use to apply the cleaner primer before we apply acrylic. We need safety gloves. Always use rubber gloves. Follow the safety instructions that you will find on the acrylic cartridge as well as on our literature. The acrylic applicator gun, the tool would come to you in two parts. And to assemble it, you push the plunger in here, press up this little lever in the back and push the plunger all the way to the end and release. Then we insert Hypona Sperrhoof cartridge and we are now ready for application. To prepare the hoof, we need the Hypona Hoof Cleaner Primer. Cleaner primer preconditions the hoof for better adhesion. Cleaner primer comes with a little mixing bowl. This bowl has been used extensively already. The acrylic will not adhere to this cup and can be used over and over again. Hypona Sperrhoof acrylic repair compound. The acrylic used for a hoof repair, it has to be very adhesive to the horse's foot. We need ductility to absorb the horse's foot's expansion and contraction. We need crack resistance within the acrylic itself over a wide range of temperatures. And we need nailability. The curing temperature of acrylic is very important. It can't get so hot that the horse feels uncomfortable, especially if we do a large repair. We need reinforcing material. This is fiberglass matting, and this is the underlay that I'm using for most crack repairs. As you can see, I'm tearing the pieces off, and the way this material is woven, it has strengths in all directions. This is another very important part of our tools, and this is a piece of saran wrap that I'm using to wrap up the prepared hoof. This is the horse foot that we prepared for this demonstration, and what you're looking here is the simulation of a quarter crack. We have removed all the unsound material all the way down to the laminae and made sure that we are in sound material. You can also see that we have removed the periopal approximately 1 inch around this repair. This is the simulation of a CD toe repair. We have basically removed all the hoof wall and the infected area all the way up to the coronet. Be very careful when you do your preparation as you're very close to sensitive material. Thirdly, we're going to show you how a foot looks when the horse is torn off a shoe and taken along a large section of hoof wall. Again, we are routing out the area that is missing and preparing this hoof. Also, again, taking off the periopal. The acrylic will not adhere if you leave the periopal on. I'm putting in my carbide burr. This is how I work on the horse's foot. I am actually preparing a little undercut to give a mechanical advantage to the acrylic. I'm now exchanging the carbide burr with a little sander, and with this sander removing the periopal, cleaning up. I will also use my hoof knife, make sure I have absolutely everything out of there. Now this foot is ready to be primed, and we apply the Hypona Cleaner Primer, and that will dry while we're mixing the acrylic. It is very important that once the cleaner primer is applied to this cracked and repair area, that we do not touch it again with bare hands, because the skin contains acids and oils and will contaminate the prepared area. We are now ready to prime this foot. All we need to do now is wet this area that we're treating. There's no rubbing. All we're doing is wetting this area, and this will give us magnetic attraction to the acrylic. Notice I'm going approximately an inch either way of the repair. Prepare our fiberglass matting to match the size of repair that we're doing. It is the strongest in all directions. Now we're basically ready to mix the acrylic. There's no explicit haste to this process. I'm taking my tongue depressor, mix this mass in here for about 15 seconds. We're now ready to apply. Be generous. We'll put that down. And now comes my little fiberglass patch that I'm working right into this crack. This is a nice part about using gloves. You can bring your fingers right into it. Now I use a little more of my acrylic. Don't worry about the little fibers that are sticking out. They will all sand away a little later. Now notice how little material we're using. I'm taking a piece of this Saran wrap now, and I'm wrapping my repair in the Saran wrap. This gives me two possibilities. Number one, I can now model my repair to the horse's foot, and I get a nice transition, and I also prevent oxidation of the acrylic. Acrylic will oxidize, and therefore it has a limited shelf life, and I recommend that you store your acrylic in the refrigerator at home and only put it on your vehicle at the time you use it. Now, this repair is to the point where we now use our hair dryer to accelerate the curing. And I'm now applying the heat to my repair. The color will change as the curing progresses. Cured will become an olive color. The actual hardening should take no longer than approximately 10 minutes, after which this repair can be rasped, can be nailed, sanded, and the hoof can be finished. Now we're going to take off our plastic. You see the color has changed. It is now olive, and it is now nice and hard. There's a few strands of fiberglass that are sticking out. I will cut those off before we get to the later sanding. Now you will find, even though the material is hard, it will be a little sticky. This is some minor oxidation, but that stickiness will go away as soon as the horse's foot goes into the sawdust, or you can take some acetone and wipe the stickiness away. Now we're going to go and do our seedy toe repair, and which is basically the same thing as we did before, except this time we use fiberglass cloths. And I would expect you, as a professional farrier, in a case like this, to lock this crack in. You would shoe this horse with clips. That way we don't need as much reinforcing over the front of the toe. Here I've cut myself a small piece of fiberglass cloth. I'm making it as round as I can. It will stick a lot better, and it's easier to sand off afterwards. Now what you see here can happen to you. I wasn't very careful cleaning this tip, so one port has closed. It has hardened on me, so I'm going to take a hoof nail. I'm just going to take this hoof nail and clean out this port, and now I'm ready to pour